F class.
I can't get enough of her. Anyway, I think Jack Kennedy drink a lot, but I'm not, don't quote me on that.
You know what? I have heard perhaps maybe that might have been the problem for the disorientation. It's a tragedy. I didn't realize. But go ahead.
It's a tragedy. It's very tragic. But anyway, so because if you have a medical problem, Dr. Bombay, Bombay, come right away.
Remember when who was Samantha's that evil cousin of her?
Evil twin sister?
Yeah,
Serena. And she was a brunette, right?
Right, and she, by the way, it was interesting. And by the by, did you know that Jack Cassidy was only 49 years old?
What a tragedy.
It's a tragedy. I was looking at the number of people. Do you know, for example, Hitler, I don't want to make no connection, he was only like 55. Lincoln was 55 years old. Nothing. They looked ancient. FDR.
They looked ancient.
FDR, I don't think I gotta check this. He wasn't that old either. I mean, it goes to show you, because when we were kids, it seemed so old. Now it's that I've got like almost 12 years on Hitler. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, I got more than that. I got more than that.
Yeah, I got more.
Okay, so my song for President Donald Trump, for me, would be James Brown's "Living in America."
Absolutely. But do you agree? Do you agree with me, Kathy, that YMCA is the worst song? I mean, it's a great song for doing a dance at a wedding, but for this masculine, this man, this icon, this behemoth.
I know this powerhouse of a president. I mean, yes.
I mean, I think
got a lot of energy.
You're right about that, but I'm thinking, yes. Kathy, I'm sorry, we're talking over each other, and that's my fault because I am unable to. It's that damn mobile phone or cellular phone. In any event, the third and the penultimate hour coming up. And what comes before penultimate? The antepenultimate, which would have been last hour, but that's over with. More coming up. Stay tuned to The Lionel Show.
This is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio. WABC New York, WRCR Haverstraw, and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. News first at 59 past the hour. 77 WABC News starts now.
Partly cloudy skies on this Wednesday, June 11th. Good morning, I'm Lisa Ritchie. President Trump is warning other cities about anti-ICE protests.
I can inform the rest of the country that when they do it, if they do it, they're going to be met with equal or greater force.
Trump inferred that he'll deploy troops just like he's done in Los Angeles and warned that he could invoke the Insurrection Act in California, which allows the deployment of U.S. troops to quell domestic unrest. California Attorney General Rob Bonta and Governor Gavin Newsom are asking a court to immediately block the White House from using the military and National Guard in local law enforcement.
Trump and Hegseth jumped from 0 to 60, bypassing law enforcement expertise and evaluation. They threw caution to the wind and sidelined strategy in an unnecessary and inflammatory escalation.
Bonta and Newsom argue it's illegal, undermines state authority, and could increase tensions and unrest. A U.S. district judge ruled that Trump and the Defense Department, though, are allowed to file a response. Nearly half of Americans are disagreeing with President Trump's decision to send Marines to Los Angeles in response to mass protests. Brian Shook has the story.
According to a flash poll from YouGov, 47% of respondents disapproved of Trump's military deployment, while 34% agreed and 19% said they weren't sure. The poll also found results were split along party lines, with Democratic respondents 6 times as likely to disagree with Trump's military involvement than Republicans. I'm Brian Shook.
Mayor Eric Adams says he does not foresee a situation where the National Guard will need to be called into New York City like it has in LA to deal with violent protesters.
If there's ever a need to go beyond the manpower that we have, there's other ways you do it before you have to come with the look of a military operation.
Both cities have had numerous demonstrations over the last few days protesting ICE arrests, and they have led to protester arrests in both cities. There's a new docu-series on the Gilgo Beach murders. Lisa G has more.
Hello. How you doing? I'm doing great. Now that I've got you on the phone.
The phone call you just heard is that of accused Gilgo Beach killer Rex Heuermann calling his wife Asa from prison. It's part of a new docu-series on the Gilgo Beach killings on Peacock.
How could you not know?
This is Asa's answer.
The investigator says to me, have you heard about the murders on Gilgo Beach? I've heard of them.
Heuermann is accused of killing 7 women, and despite the charges, his wife Asa still loves him.
Does everybody really believe everything they hear?
Lisa G, 77 WABC News. Police are confirming a body found in a Long Island pool last month is that of a missing fugitive. James Flippin has more.
Suffolk County Police had believed that the body found in an East Shoreham pool back on May 25th was 23-year-old Matthew Zoll, as cops believed he allegedly stabbed his 61-year-old father, Joseph Zoll, to death in their home in Rocky Point last November. The man who owns the pool where the younger Zoll was found, in a twist, is reportedly a member of the U.S. Marshals Regional Task Force that have been looking for him. Zoll's cause of death not yet determined. James Flippin for 77 WABC News.
An electrical fire appears to be the culprit behind a smoky condition at Grand Central Madison this morning that led to major service suspensions on the Long Island Railroad.
It took several hours and about 100 or more firefighters to locate an electrical fire in the deep basement along the 300 level tracks of the Long Island Railroad.
3 firefighters and 1 civilian suffered non-life-threatening injuries because of the heavy smoke condition. Service has returned back to normal. In sports, Aaron Rodgers says he became a married man a couple of months ago. Rodgers did not reveal any other specifics about his partner or the nuptials. Speculation about Rodgers' marital status grew last week when he was spotted sporting a black ring on his wedding finger while signing his new 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Your forecast: overnight, clear to partly cloudy skies, the low 65. Later today, partly to mostly sunny and pleasant, less humid, the high 84. Thursday shapes up with hazy sun, breezy and warm, the high 88. We have partly cloudy skies outside of our Midtown studios right now. I'm Lisa Ritchie. Remember, the news never stops at WABCRadio.com.
Listen to this podcast now on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Protecting America with Rita Cosby.
Joining us now is Lieutenant Colonel Tony Schaefer.
Always a pleasure to join you.
Tony, the minute that President Trump took office and he brought in Pete Hegseth, he said, okay, no more woke, no more DEI. We're going to focus on you being the toughest, greatest fighting force. His message was fight, 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 win, 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 and nothing else. How much DEI and woke was in our military before this?
It was everywhere. And it's interesting. I'm glad you framed it that way. It was an infection. It's Marxism rebranded as basically culture and racial warfare. You basically were trying to convince people because of a certain physical attribute, who they slept with, what was on their body, the skin color, that somehow distinguished them and gave them the ability to be qualified and expert in what they do.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform. This is The Other Side of Midnight.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
With Lionel.
Alrighty, Lionel with you. Hour number 3, the penultimate hour of this thing of ours. As I was walking down the hall, I turned to our friend Dr. Atwood, and Nature Boy and I were discussing the various leading characters of the show Bewitched. I said, only in America at 3 o'clock in the morning are we discussing an it was Aunt Clara, the one we were talking about, the befuddled, maybe you didn't know we were talking about this kind of a befuddled, stuttering woman. We were in love with this. And I mentioned Agnes Moorehead, who was born in Clinton, Massachusetts in 1900. And she always had that of course was the mid-Atlantic accent. Roscoe Lee Brown, I think, was born in like Woodbridge, New Jersey or something. He had that, also that affected. Now listen to this. We were discussing whether Agnes Moorehead was gay. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Not that it matters. She was a tremendous actress. But in just doing my, perusal, my review, while Agnes Moorehead's personal life remained private, there is widespread speculation and evidence in the GLBTQ archives. It's funny, GLBTQ? I mean, boy, they threw me off with that. Not LGBTQ, no, GLB. Do that from now on. Mix the letters around. Suggesting that she was in fact a lesbian. A word which you don't use anymore. Maybe it was sapphic, maybe I like sapphic from Sappho. That's me. Her character type and roles often included unmarried women, which some interpret as a, quote, queer career. Her friends and colleagues like Paul Lynde openly referred to her as a lesbian. However, she was generally discreet about her sexuality, possibly due to the negative consequences of being openly gay in Hollywood. She was married twice, by the way, to two men. But anyway, we didn't know. But here's the best part. In the 60s, being a kid, I kind of knew that there was something with Paul Lynde. I knew something was up. I knew something was up with Liberace, but we didn't care. That's the best part. We were so monumentally open. We didn't know anything about any kind of homophobia, racism.
Still going on right here.
To us. To be
Still going on right here.
Meadowlark Lemon? What? I saw, by the way, the
few jerk offs left. Here we go.
And Curly Neal and Goose. What's his name? Not Cosby. Goose. Anyway, Dunbar. Listen to you. You are a veritable suppository. Look at this. Is this Dr. Ryan? What have we see? Look at come in here. This poor guy's trying to do work down the hall, and we're sitting back in the most detailed. Dr. Antoine Atwood joins us. By the way, we're not exactly what exactly he's sure he's a doctor of, but I have it on good authority. He is a doctor. Doctor, your comment, sir.
As the three of us, as you said, the three of us, you, me, and Matt were talking about is, you're going back down memory lane. I loved Endora.
Yeah.
She was evil.
Yes.
But whatever she was, right. What she did in her personal life, right. I still loved her.
Right.
But a lot, like you said, a lot of actors and actresses, when I find out, especially the ones that I watched during my childhood, right. It's like, oh, wow, really, for real? But now, Paul Lynde,
right.
He was flamboyant.
But right, exactly. He was kind of kooky. Or
let me do something here. Christine almost hot. Oh my god, she is fucking hot. All right, let me yeah, here we go. Dumbass. Put that one. There we go. How much going on with the scan? I'm gonna put the volume up a little bit right here. Only like 25. Uh, I'm monitoring the Los Angeles County Sheriff Dispatch also, so you're gonna hear the scanner. You're gonna hear both. So I'll be back in a few minutes. So hello, greetings from Ciudad Obregón, Sonora. Saludo. There you go. That's what I hear. Scanner. Scanner. Muchas gracias. Let me go to the radio down a little bit more right here. Ahí está. Así.
No problem. I'm up all night. I sleep crazy hours.
Why are you up all night? What's the matter? Tell me about it.
I think it's the medication. You know, I had a double heart attack about 6 years ago.
A double heart attack? What's a double heart attack? Not just one, but two?
No, it's funny. They said, yeah, I had two. So I'm in the ambulance. You know, I was a volunteer firefighter, EMT, and the guy looks up, hey, Steve, and he's like, hey, Jim, what are you It's crazy. But they told my better half, Irene, we're not married in 30 years. They go, you ain't gonna make that flatline 3 times.
Wow.
I'm 66 years old right now.
Now, how old were you when this happened?
59, I'd say.
Oh, so now, have you been checked up since? Are you okay?
I'm at the doctor's quite a bit. Yeah, I have AFib right now, and I'm on blood thinners, and that's crazy too. One time I bit my tongue for like 4 hours, you know, and they had to do like some silver nitrate on my tongue. It was weird, you know.
Which gave you a unique pronunciation style for the next week.
There you go.
You talk like this. It was like, what's the matter with him? I don't know. Well, he had a double heart attack. Now, did you have bypass and all that jazz? And
I did. I had a double bypass. Yeah, I have a funny story about that too.
Tell me.
Okay, my older brother's an airline pilot with JetBlue. He's with Piedmont, USA, or JetBlue. He's in this. I think he's about getting ready to retire, like in a few years down the road.
Oh my God, Piedmont, that's just old.
His physical with JetBlue, and he goes,
wow.
That's great, because my brother just had a heart attack. Oh, we better check you out.
Oh no.
Wow. Piedmont. Oh my God, I remember that shit from the 70s.
Wow. I'm fascinated by that whole thing about when life somehow you were just the right time, the right place. Think about people in the old days. Maybe they didn't have the frequency. I have no idea because heart disease is the number one, in some respects, preventable the disease there is, and that's why when I see people on TV who say or on internet, cholesterol doesn't mean. Who cares? LDL is it. I don't care what anybody says. And there's a new thing right now, lipoprotein A. Have you heard about that one? It's it says L-a. Ask about. Look it up. If ever you were born with it, it's genetic. It's a marker. That's it. And it is one of these things where you better find out if you have this.
Another thing, my dad also had it, so it runs in blood. Yes. It runs in the genes, yeah.
But it's also but if you're vigilant and that sort of thing. See, my thing when I was a kid, I always thought if I get all of my health stuff out of the way, and when I'm older, I took nothing to worry about. And my thing was bladder issues, not cancer. The seeming from collecting kidney products, it doesn't really do anything. But I had
every 20 minutes I'm in the bathroom. Go ahead.
Isn't that something? Are you on diuretics as well?
No, I'm on.
Attack. 4 eye surgeries?
Yes.
For what?
Detached retina in the eye. It's crazy because when I was in the military, I played racquetball and I didn't have goggles on. I don't think you needed them back then. I got hit in the eye. And now I've got another laser surgery in about 2 or 3 months. It's just
Retina. And after the surgery, had to.
You see how they are corralled right now?
Like in a pillow.
You know? So they're going to be arrested soon. Because they're stupid. You see stupid people? This is the ultimate stupidity, right here. So they're all gonna be arrested soon. These last jerk offs over here, and the rest of the jerk offs over there, they're gonna get arrested. I'll be right back in a bit.
Really? Curtis Leah, by the way. Now tell me this. Wait. Slow down for a second. Hang on. For a guy who had a double heart attack and 4 eye surgeries, you're pretty quick on. Wants to help people. It is a part of who he is. You're. You have a man cave? See, we have to have where you can drink face down and watch sports looking down into your mirror. Can you imagine what that would look like? Imagine 10, 20, 30 of these chairs. It's worth a thought. Hey, Steve, listen, thank you, my friend. I wish you continued.
Talking to you. I'll call again down the road sometime.
And I'm going to tell you said hello.
Steve, Steve, what they told
To Nathan in Connecticut. You're on the Lionel Show. Nathan.
Hi, Lionel. It's Nathan.
Yes, it is, sir. You are correct.
It is, and it always has been. Sixth grade, we had to do I would, as I would read it, I would do the imitations of Don Adams and Get Smart. I love doing Siegfried because we don't do this at chaos.
Do you remember that? By the way, your imitation just sucked. Just kidding. I'm kidding. But it was Mel Brooks, Buck Henry. It was one of the. You remember Earl Bellamy? Um, what was the car? What was the car he drove? I don't remember the car.
And then years later,
his shoe phone. I just thought that was go to the original Get Smart TV station. I read that magazine. This is, the whole thing has expat or a Cuban. I think his family was a victim of Castro, whatever it was. But that's precisely what it was. Here's one for you. Here's one for you. What was Columbo's car? Remember Columbo's car? Oh yeah, he had this beat up what, Volvo or something like that? It was a Peugeot a 1959 Peugeot 403. That you are a wealth of information. No, I've got reference here. I'm not gonna. I've got my source here. This is the greatest thing in the world. I can answer any question. What was so important about this was it was the only mystery show where they told you who did it first, and then you worked backwards. You knew who did it right from the beginning. And when John Cassavetes was on, he played John Cassavetes. I loved him, and he played. He was such an auteur, such a movie maven, if you want. I'm talking about maven, but he would mortgage his home constantly. He was married to the very quality. The family was son. But he was his famous Yankee. But he would be a part of the you would find out ahead of time who did it. Because later on was going to be what those two numbers really mean. We're not going to mention the first name. It's just like Quincy. We're not going to mention the first name. It just. Ew. I'm going to shut it down. You're good. There you go. Good night. Done with that. There we go. And there we go. We're going to end this. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.